You're listening to Full Circle Weekly News of the open source community presented by Full Circle Magazine. These articles are compiled by Eric the Unready, and I'm your host, Moss Bliss. This is episode 428, covering week 34, August 18th to 24th, 2025. Zulip 11 is out, a server platform for deploying corporate messengers suitable for communication between employees and development teams. The project was originally developed by Zulip and opened after its acquisition by Dropbox under the Apache 2.0 license. The server code is written in Python using the Django framework. Client software is available for Linux, Windows, Mac OS, Android, and iOS, and a built-in web interface is also provided. The system supports both direct messaging between two people and group discussions. Zulip can be compared to Slack service and considered as an internal corporate Twitter analog used for communication and discussion of work issues in large groups of employees. It provides tools for tracking the status and participating in several discussions simultaneously using a threaded message display model, which is an optimal compromise between binding to rooms in Slack and a single public space of Twitter. Simultaneous threaded display of all discussions allows you to cover all groups in one place while maintaining topical separation between them. Ventoy 1.1.07 has been published. It is designed to create bootable USB drives that include several operating systems. The program allows you to boot the OS from unchanged ISO, WIM, image, VHD, and EFI images without requiring image unpacking or media reformatting. Simply copy the desired set of ISO images to a USB drive with the Ventoy bootloader already installed, and it will boot the operating systems located inside the images. You can replace or add new ISO images at any time by simply copying new files, which is convenient for testing and preliminary familiarization with various distributions and operating systems. The project code is written in C and is distributed under the GPL v3 license. Ventoy supports booting on systems with BIOS, IA32 UEFI, x86-64 UEFI, ARM64 UEFI, UEFI Secure Boot, and MIPS64EL UEFI with MBR or GPT partition tables. It supports booting various versions of Windows, WinPE, Linux, BSD, Chrome OS, as well as images of VMware and Xen virtual machines. The developers have tested 1,283 ISO images in Ventoy, including various versions of Windows and Windows Server, several hundred Linux distributions, more than a dozen BSD systems, etc. Git 2.51 is released. Git is productive and provides nonlinear development tools based on branching and merging of branches to ensure the integrity of history and resistance to retroactive changes. Implicit hashing of the entire previous history in each commit is used, as well as digital signatures of individual tags and commits by developers. The Git code is distributed under the GPL v2 Plus license. Luanti 5.13.0 has been released. It is a free cross-platform sandbox game engine that allows you to create games similar to Roblox but with voxel mechanics, using various blocks for players to jointly build various structures and buildings. Some games on the engine seek to clone Minecraft. The gameplay provided by the engine depends entirely on a set of mods created in the Lua language. The engine is written in C++ using the Erlich MT3D library. Luanti code is distributed under the LGPL license, and game resources are licensed under the CC BY SA 3.0 license. Ready-made assemblies are generated for various Linux distributions, Android, FreeBSD, Windows, and Mac OS. Oracle has released the Solaris 11.4 SRU84, which offers a series of significant changes and improvements for the Solaris 11.4 branch. To install the fixes offered in the update, simply run the package update command. Users can also take advantage of the free Solaris 11.4 CBE edition, which is developed as a rolling release. Thunderbird 142.0, a community-developed email client based on Mozilla technologies, is now available. Thunderbird 142 is built on the Firefox 142 codebase and is an intermediate version with updates released before the next big release. The ESR branches, with long-term support, feature releases 128.14.0 and 140.2.0. The Document Foundation has released LibreOffice 25.8 Office Suite. Ready-made installation packages have been prepared for various Linux distributions. 160 developers took part in the release preparation. 40% of the changes were made by 44 employees of the companies supervising the project, such as Collabora and Allotropia, 41% by 8 employees of the Document Foundation, and 19% by 108 independent enthusiasts. The release of LibreOffice 25.8 is labeled Community, will be supported by enthusiasts, and is not aimed at enterprise use. LibreOffice Community is available to everyone without exception, including corporate users, for free without restrictions. Zed Industries, the company behind the open-source code editor Zed, announced that Sequoia has invested $35 million in the project. Taking into account previous cash injections, the total investment in the development of Zed has exceeded $42 million. The money is allocated to develop a new method of collaborative coding in which the discussion of code is tied to the code itself. Until now, the main focus of the project has been on creating a user interface for the code editor. The investments received will allow them to move on to the next stage and engage in the implementation of a new version control system, DeltaDB, which forms a workspace for collaborative work on code. The new system incrementally tracks the development of the code down to individual editing operations. The Zed project is being developed under the leadership of Nathan Sobo, the author of the Atom Editor, with the participation of a team of former developers of the Atom Editor, the Electron platform, and the TreeSitter syntax parsing library. The project code is written in Rust. The source code of the server Part 4 multi-user editing is open under the AGPL-v3 license. The code of the editor itself is under the GPL-v3 license, and the code of the GPUI library for generating the user interface, which uses the GPU for rendering, is under the Apache 2.0 license. Apache NetBeans 27 is now available, an integrated development environment that provides support for the Java SE, Java EE, PHP, C and C++, JavaScript, Rust, and Groovy programming languages. Ready-to-use builds are available for Linux and Snap or Flatpak. The GMIC 3.6 framework is out. It provides a universal scripting language for image processing and graphical interfaces for converting, filtering, and visualizing graphic content. GMIC provides more than 1,000 ready-made algorithms and functions for image processing, supports multi-threading, and can use OpenMP to speed up calculations by parallelizing the load on several CPU cores. It supports processing of various types of images, including those with an arbitrary number of color channels, volumetric images, and vector 3D objects. The project code is distributed under the free CCIL license, compatible with the GPL. GMIC is available as the GMIC command line tool, the libgmic and CIMG multi-threaded C++ libraries, the GMIC-Qt plugins implementing over 600 filters for GIMP, Paint.net, Photoshop, Affinity Photo, PaintShop Pro, PhotoLine, and XNView, the GMIC online web application for manipulating graphics from a web browser, and the ZArt graphical interface for processing video files or video streams from web cameras in real time. GMIC's capabilities are used in open source projects such as the EDK Video Post-Processing Package, the FlowBlade and Kdenlive video editors, the Krita graphics editor, the PhotoFlow photo processing system, and the VJ Video Effects overlay system. MiniOS 5.0.0 is out based on Debian 13 Trixie and running directly from a USB drive. The graphical environment is based on XFCE. The distribution uses a modular architecture that allows you to create specialized configurations to adapt the system to specific tasks. The release is available in 3 editions: Standard, a compact assembly for everyday tasks, characterized by high performance and a laconic interface, includes a web browser, file manager, text editor, archiver, multimedia capabilities, and specialized MiniOS utilities for installing the system, setting up, managing modules, and working with drives. Toolbox, a specialized Linux distribution for servicing, diagnostics, and recovery of computer systems, contains tools for disk management, network diagnostics, data security, system testing, support for various file systems, and virtualization, designed for system administrators and technical specialists. And Ultra, an extended set of software tools designed for both servicing and diagnostics of computer systems and for solving a wide range of Office tasks. It includes all the capabilities of Toolbox plus an Office suite, multimedia applications for working with graphics, audio, and video, as well as containerization tools. To detect applications that create files in the user's home directory that consume disk space, a background process called WhoMade is unveiled, which monitors the appearance of new files using the Fanotify mechanism. The project is written in C++ and is distributed under the GPL-v3 license. The data is stored in a SQLite 3 database, which is periodically cleared of irrelevant information. To implement the required functionality, WhoMade currently monitors file access via Fanotify with subsequent filtering of unnecessary events rather than file creation operations directly. Root rights are required to run. Mate desktop users are provided with an extension for the Caja file manager that displays information about the process that created the selected file. The first public release of the Nitro project has been published. They develop a minimalistic initialization system with functions for controlling the execution of processes. The project is developed by Leah Newkirken. The code is written in C and distributed under the BSD license. Nitro can be used both as an init process and as an unprivileged process that controls the smooth execution of applications in user space and restarts tasks in case of failures. It supports Linux and FreeBSD and can be used in environments based on the standard C library Muscle. The areas areas of application mentioned include embedded systems, RAM, disk images, and containers, as well as workstations and server systems. The Nitro Control command line utility is supplied to manage the operation of services and interact with the init process. Nate Graham has published another KDE development report. The most notable change is the addition of the KDE Initial System Setup Wizard to the branch that is being used to build the KDE Plasma 6.5 release. KISS offers system operations that are performed before the first login after installation, such as creating a new user to use for further work, selecting the language and time zone, setting up the keyboard layout, and configuring network access. PowerDNS Authoritative Server 5.0 has been published. In the past, PowerDNS Authoritative Server served up to 30% of the total number of domains in Europe and up to 90% of the domains with DNS SEC. The project code is distributed under the GPL v2 license. PowerDNS Authoritative Server provides the ability to store information about domains in various databases, including MySQL, PostgreSQL, SQLite 3, LMDB, Oracle, and Microsoft SQL Server, as well as in LDAP and regular text files in bind format. The response can additionally be filtered or redirected to its own handlers in Lua, Java, Perl, Python, Ruby, C, and C++. You've been listening to Full Circle Weekly News. For more details, see the next issue of the magazine at fullcirclemagazine.org or check the links in the show notes. You can contact me at bardmoss@pm.me. I'll see you next week.